Greetings, everyone. Once again, it's Motamonidi sharing the authentic truth brought to us by Zulula 100. Here, the message I'm going to share is going to be the Sabbath is established by the false God of humanity to once again denounce the notion of the Sabbath, the celebration of the Sabbath. Many people say that no, on the seventh day you should not work, you should not do hard labor, and so on. You must rest. And they will say is to honor the fact that their supposed God rested on the seventh day. And many black people also even follow that supposed custom. And some will claim that no, the Sabbath is Saturday. But you must not be unaware that in Proverbs 19:2 you're told, the lack of knowledge is not good for any spirit of man of the original race. So the lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, the lack of science is not good for you out there. And in John chapter 8, verse 32, you're told in the Korean Bibles, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 2, you're told, by the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. Semicolon. So we're going to stop here. By the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. Some people are going to read this, they're not going to understand. When it says by the seventh day he had finished the work. I mean, he also worked on the seventh day. When we go in another translation, in a New Living Translation, you're told, on the seventh day God had finished his work of creation. On the seventh day. If you say on the seventh day, you finish working. I mean, you also work on the seventh day and you've completed on the seventh day. Legacy Standard Bible, and on the seventh day, God completed his work. He completed his work on the seventh day. New American Standard Bible, and by the seventh day, God completed his work. You see? So on the seventh day. Now, in other version, in Brampton Septuagint translation, you're told, and God finished on the sixth day his work which he made. Aramaic Bible in plain English, and in the sixth day, God finished his work that he had made. You see? Because it's either on the sixth day or on the seventh day. First of all, there's already a confusion because some version will say on the 6 days, in the sixth day, others will say on the seventh day. So which one is it? If you say on the sixth day, then that means you're contradicting the versions that say on the seventh day. So which one is it? So already you see the confusions, and that's the confusion that many people accept, many people ignore, and many people still will claim that no, the Bible is the Word of God. When the current Bibles are full of lies, contradiction, mistakes, errors. So, now, so you're told on the seventh day, God finished his work. So that means he also worked on the seventh day. He completed his work on the seventh day. So the notion that God rested on the seventh day or on the Sabbath, on the seventh day, you must not work, you're contradicting the scriptures. You're contradicting even the current Bibles. Because the current Bibles also say by the seventh day that God had finished the work. So he also worked on the seventh day. Now, after that you're told, so on the seventh day he rested from all his work. He rested. So does God rest? So the God of the Bible rests. So does that mean he gets tired? He Basically, he worked 6 days and also on the seventh day, and then he rested. So that's a creature. That's someone that gets tired. You see? That's the God humanity has accepted. A God that rests. Because people, they work, they get tired, they rest. Is it the same for God? The Creator doesn't rest. So already two big confusion. First, the notion that is it on the sixth day or on the seventh day? There's a confusion, there's a contradiction. And also the supposed God rested on the seventh day. So he rests, he gets tired. That's the God humanity has accepted. A God that is limited. Now, in Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, you're told, remember the Sabbath day, comma, to keep it holy, period. 6 days, in verse 9, 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, comma. You should do all your work 6 days. But the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, comma. And here you have to understand there's a confusion, there's a contradiction. Because when we go in Genesis chapter 3, verse 17, you're told, and then to Adam he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat from it, semicolon, cursed is the ground because of you. With hard labor you shall eat from it all the days of your life, period. You see? All the days of your life. And not only 6 days out of 7. And he says, with hard labor you shall eat from it all the days of your life. So that means even on the seventh day, he must eat from it with hard labor. So that means the punishment was that all the days he had to work. Genesis chapter 3, verse 17 in New American Bible. Cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you shall eat his yield all the days of your life. You see? Douay-Rheims Bible. With labor and toil that shalt thou eat thereof all the days of thy life. New International Version. Through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life. New Living Translation. All your life you will struggle to scratch a living from it. All your life. English Standard Version. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. You see? Christian Standard Bible. You will eat from it by means of painful labor all the days of your life. So here in Genesis chapter 3, verse 17, the supposed God says to Adam that you will eat from it, basically from the ground. He says the ground is cursed because of you, period. You will eat from it by means of painful labor all the days of your life. So that means the man had to work all the days of his life to eat from the ground. That's the punishment. It didn't say one of the day you will not work. But the same supposed God comes back later later and says in Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But he told Adam that all the days of your life, you will do hard labor and you'll eat from the ground. You'll eat from your hard labor all the day of your life. You see? So there's a confusion, there's a contradiction. So this God of the Bible forgets. He forgets what he says. He's confused. He gets tired. He rests. He goes against what he previously said. Now, in Exodus chapter 20, verse 11, for in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, comma. In 6 days, the sea and all that is in them, he rested on the seventh day. So that's a contradiction, because in Genesis chapter 2, verse 2, says that in the seventh day, God was still at work. It is in the same day, in the seventh day, that he completed his work. On the seventh day, he completed his work. You see? Some translations try to correct that. That's what they will say on the sixth day. You see? So there's a big confusion. There's a big contradiction. So now, in Numbers chapter 23, verse 19, you're told, God is not a man, comma, that he should lie, or a son of man that he should change his mind. Now, in Numbers chapter 15, verse 32 to 36. This is regarding a Sabbath breaker stoned. Verse 32, you're told, while the Israelites were in the wilderness, a man was found gathering wood on the Sabbath day. Period. Those who found the man gathering wood brought him to Moses, comma, Aaron and the whole congregation. Verse 34, and because he had not been declared what should be done to him, comma, they placed him in custody. Verse 35, then the Lord said to Moses, the man must die, period. The whole assembly must stone him outside the camp. So here you're told that the supposed Lord, because one man supposedly break the Sabbath, picked up wood, he had to be stoned to death. That's the God that humanity has accepted. Is that justice? Because you pick up wood, you must die. You must be killed. That's injustice. Just because he picked up wood. Why didn't they pray for this person? Why didn't they pray for him? And it's the same supposed God that says in Exodus chapter 20, verse 13, you shall not murder. You see? But in Numbers, he tells Moses to tell the assembly to basically to stone him, to stone someone, to kill someone. Now, in Exodus chapter 30, verse 7, you're told, Aaron must burn fragrant incense on the altar every morning when he tends the lamp. Exodus chapter 30, verse 7. Aaron must burn fragrant incense on the altar every morning when he tends the lamp. Amplified Bible. Aaron shall burn sweet and fragrant incense on it. Semicolon. He shall burn it every morning when he trims and tends the lamps. Period. So what's every morning? It means every day. So not only 6 days, even on the seventh day. Exodus chapter 35 verse 3, you're told, you see that the same God comes and forgets. You must not even light a fire in any of your homes on the Sabbath. Brampton Septuagint translation, ye shall not burn a fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day, semicolon, I am the Lord. You see? And this commandment was to supposedly everyone. Ye shall. You must not. It didn't say except Aaron. You see? So he's contradicting himself. He says, you must not even light a fire. But he said to Aaron, he said to Moses to say to Aaron, that Aaron shall burn sweet and fragrant incense on it. He shall burn it every morning, every day. So a big confusion, big contradiction. So now, in John chapter 5, verse 8, you're told, then the Christ said to him, get up. King James Bible, rise, comma, take up thy bed. Take up thy bed. So the Christ said to him, told the man to arise, rise, take up thy bed, comma, and walk. And you have to understand here that in the Revelation, that bed was also made of wood. So the Christ tells a person to pick up his bed. So to also pick up wood. And in verse 9 you're told, at once the man was cured, semicolon, he picked up his bed, he took up his bed and walked. In the New King James Version, and immediately the man was made well, comma, took up his bed, comma, and walked. And walked. Period. And that day was the Sabbath. Was the Sabbath. And in Mark chapter 2, verse 28, so the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. But we know that the Christ was submitted on earth to the Word of God. But he says he's master of the Sabbath. Lord, so his master is the Lord of your fake custom. Because those customs were established by the false God of humanity. So he doesn't respect those. So, the Sabbath is an abomination. You cannot say that no, one day is a holy day. We must not work. Because in the Sabbath they claim, no, the Sabbath will represent obscurity. Because they will say, no, you must not even light up your house. You must stay in the darkness. The Sabbath is witchcraft. Now, when we go in, because like I've mentioned, in the current Bibles, it's full of lies, mistakes, contradictions, errors. There's only one authentic Bible without any errors or contradiction. Bible, the book of the truth. And in Bible, it says this, and I'll translate here. In Numbers, so Misongi, chapter 10, verse 1. You will not celebrate the Sabbath day in honor of Tete, comma. So Tete is Loba, is the only and unique creator. It is a custom of the uninitiated, comma. White and mixed bloods, comma, for all wiki days. So that's the week. So all the days of wiki, woki, so it's wiki or also woki, which means week, belong to Tete. So all the days of the week belongs to the Creator, belong to the Creator. You cannot say that only the seventh day we must honor or celebrate the Sabbath. No, that's completely false. So does that mean the other 6 days are not holy? Doesn't belong to, according to the title you give, don't belong to God? Only the seventh day you must rest. You must honor Him. And on the other 6 days you're not honoring Him. You see, that's a confusion. That's a lie. That's a contradiction. And Kalatambale Bibel is the truth, with the true commandment, the true laws, the authentic Bible without any errors or contradiction. I'll repeat once again. You will not celebrate the Sabbath day in honor of Tete, comma. It is a custom of the uninitiated, comma, whites and mixed blood, comma. You see? So that's a custom of people who don't know the truth. For all the days of wiki woki week belong to Tete. So all the days of the week belong to Loba, belong to the only and unique Creator. So that was the message. All glory be to Loba.